Hello, folks. It's your buddy Mike Messier. How you doing, everybody? It's your buddy Mike Messier, One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan YouTube channel. Also on Facebook in the Foreign Object. Ironic handle on Twitter, One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan. Also on Twitter, LinkedIn. Sometimes I even share these videos on LinkedIn. So no matter where you are, you might be seeing these videos. Now, if you want to see more of these in a timely fashion, the best thing to do is to go ahead and subscribe to One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan YouTube channel. Isn't that nice? So tonight I went to Gainesville, Florida. This is the town of the Gators, the Florida Gators football team. It's a nice town, you know. I like Gainesville quite a bit. In the actual venue where these shows for NXT, the Martin Luther King Community Center, it's really pretty off the beaten path. It's a nice place to go for a show. Very safe area, free parking. There's I actually had a really good parking spot, and I got there right on time at 7:30. And they start these shows right on the dot. You know, I got into the venue. You know, I was walking to the venue at 7:30. I probably was inside of the actual uh, auditorium or whatever you want to call it, gym at 7:32, and the first match was already going on. So I mean, they don't waste any time. They get these things going. There was actually a lot of matches tonight, I believe. Luckily for me, the people at featuresofwrestling.com and some other websites have the whole names of everybody and the matches listed. So I'm going to use featuresofwrestling.com to remind me of some of these things. But I will share some photographs with you. And in fact, I'm going to share some photographs right now. I've been working on these little vignettes, videos for you. So let's check these out. This is the first batch of photos with music by my buddy Tony Caramadre of Fat Tone Studio in Warwick, Rhode Island. And I took the photos. So let's check them out. And if you're wondering, you're saying, hey, gee whiz, Mike, these photos aren't that good. Well, the reality is, if you look, that's a photo from tonight as well. You see that big light? There's basically 4 sets of lights right around the ring and makes it incredibly hard to take decent photographs. So basically the choices are either get front row and then your photographs will have a little bit better, but mostly just when the wrestlers are at ringside. Or if you sit up in the bleachers like I did for the first couple of matches, you can get some good, wide shots. And maybe if you had a better camera than I do, you could get some great shots. But the reality is you get what you get because those lights kind of blow out a lot of the photographs. So I do my best, and you're not paying for this information or these photographs anyway, so you get what you get. Let's check them out. Okay, folks, wasn't that exciting? And I'm back here, and so let's go through the matches, and I'll do what I can to remember my thoughts and feelings on all these matches. First off, it was a nice crowd tonight. I mean, there was probably a room for a few more people. It's hard to say how many seats they sell, but I mean, it seemed like 350 people, perhaps. I mean, and this is a nice venue. Actually, it's worth the drive to Gainesville, which is about 2 hours away from me. It's worth going down there to enjoy these matches, take some photographs for you fine folks, give my thoughts and analysis. It's nice to see a lot of families come to these shows. You know, the parents are bringing the kids. The tickets are comfortably priced. I did notice tonight, though, that they seem like they've jacked up their NXT prices from 10 and $20, and moving forward, it seems like they're going to be 15 and 25. So there you go. But let's take a look at these matches. So when I was coming into the venue, there you see, I believe the gentleman on the top rope there is Javon Evans defeats Skylar Clinton. This Javon Evans seems like a guy to keep an eye out for. High flyer. We have a lot of wrestlers like that. in the world of pro wrestling now, the high flying guys, the acrobatic guys. But this guy was actually quite good. And he from what I saw, and I probably missed 2 or 3 minutes of his match, but from what I saw, he didn't have any flubs. Everything he did was very crisp. He was very athletic, in great shape, and seemed like he knew what he was doing. So I don't know where he was trained or where he comes from, but Javon Evans was quite good. And the guy that he beat, Skylar Clinton, didn't really show me too much. I think he was kind of outshined in this match. Didn't get much from what I saw. Didn't get much offense in, and didn't have a great look either. Just kind of looked like just another guy, so to speak. But there you go. Javon Evans, someone that I'll look forward to seeing. And I don't know if he's a recent signee. I don't really watch the NXT weekly shows. Full admission here, folks. I just don't. I like to go to the house shows. I go to the live events because I enjoy them. But, there's only so many hours in the week. I'm a very busy individual, as you know, writing my books, making my own artwork, etc. So I don't have time to indulge in all this wrestling on TV, but I like going to the house shows. I like going to the live events. The next match was quite an attractive match, I thought. Both ladies, I guess, can we say people of color, ladies of color, both very attractive women. The young men sitting near me were very excited about this match. For both ladies there, and they were both quite good. And actually, the lady that lost, or the result is Kaya Saint defeated Brianna Covington. Covington basically was on offense for most of this match, and then Kaya Saint, who looks like she's pretty new, she scored, I guess you'd call it an upset, or just kind of got a last-minute victory. But Brianna really dominated that match, and both ladies are in tremendous condition. I could kind of tell that Kia was new because it looked like she wasn't really wearing proper wrestling boots. She was wearing basically sneakers, like nice sneakers, but they weren't really wrestling boots. That's kind of a telltale sign that the wrestler is new if they haven't bought their boots yet. But, maybe we'll do a GoFundMe for Kia's boots. But in any event, they were both very good. It was a good match, and I could be wrong, but it seemed like this Kia Saint was new to NXT, but maybe she's been around and I just haven't seen her. Brianna Covington, I've seen several times in tag team matches over the last 10 months or so. The next match, I'm not really remembering too much about it, to be honest with you. Tavion Heights, he got a nice pop. He defeated Drake Moreau. I don't really remember too much about this match, to be honest with you, except Tavion did get a nice babyface pop, if I'm remembering that correctly. The next match, I'm trying to remember this one. Jada Parker defeats Lainey Reed. Let me look up a little bit of this stuff. And actually, while I do that, I'm going to show you fine folks some more photographs. Aren't you excited? So let's take a look at some more photographs as I look up the contestants. Jada Parker, because I think she's one of the people that I enjoy quite a bit, and Lainey Reed. Here's some more photos from the show. Okay, folks. So I looked it up. Jada Parker, she was quite good. So apparently she's a new person here in NXT. She just got signed. Lainey Reed was her opponent. I think I saw Lainey Reed when I was going to the facilities, the men's room. Lainey was kind of just in the hallway sitting down, and she smiled, but I was kind of in a weird situation. I didn't know what to do, because I'm going to the facilities, and but in any event, they had a good match. But this Jada Parker really seemed very comfortable. She was very good at the heel tactics. Apparently, she's a new signee, Jada Parker. I think that's her new name. And I think I remember several months ago when she was signing to NXT, around the same time Jade Cargill was getting signed. And people were wondering or speculating, was Jada Parker the new name for Jade Cargill from AEW? So Jada Parker, with her career history, she is 25 years old. Oh, she's actually from Florida. She was born in Port St. Lucie, Florida, which is terribly too far away. Wow. 25 years old, February 12th, 1999. I guess I won't give away her name here. That's not too nice, but I mean, she has kind of done a really good. Her real name would not be good for wrestling, so I think this Jada Parker will be fine. Her real name is just, it's like got four names. It's kind of proper. It's not a fun real name. It's like a normal real name. So she's 5'7". She's a former soccer player. February 12th, if you're looking to buy her a present. And apparently she was signed there September 30th, 2023. And yeah, so I'm trying to find out more information about her. But she was very good. Her theme song was very good too. And I think the theme song is called Let 'Em Know, if that's the same one they played tonight. But I did make note that her theme song was really good. And apparently her stable mates, because they were there, she showed up later in the night too. I took a bunch of pictures of this young lady, were Bronco Nima, Lucian Price, and Reggie / Scripps out the mud. So I thought she was really good. She was really good at healing it up. She seemed, if the word, I mean, this is the word I use, comfortable. She seemed like she knew what she was doing. She was not in awe of the situation. I don't know if I'd say the same thing about her opponent, although with wrestling, maybe that's just the opponent selling that. You know what I mean? By the way, if you happen to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, you can make some comments here. I would like to get more information about this young woman, because I think she was one of the best wrestlers tonight, like as far as just someone who kind of stood out from the pack. And here's another thing, folks. There's so many women on these NXT house shows. If you like NXT women wrestlers, for whatever reason, they're there. I mean, they're there in droves, and probably had more women on the show tonight than men, which is fine by me, because they were all very talented. They were all very good. Here she is, Jada Parker. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. So they basically, I'm just looking at MSN.com, and they're just giving a whole big shtick. I'm trying to find out this woman's background, where she trained and so forth, but it's not turning out to be so easy. So let's move on, and I'll have to do that research at another time. But if you know anything about this Jada Parker, I thought she was very good as a heel. She really worked the crowd well. She knew what she was doing. And now I have about 50 windows open on my computer that I'm trying to dig through so I can go back to these matches. The next match, I'm a big Brian Pillman Sr. fan. Now we have Brian Pillman Jr., but he's known as Lexus King in NXT. He has been in NXT now for 7 or 8 months. Last summer, I think he came in. I don't watch the weekly NXT shows for the most part, so I don't know if he's doing a lot of good stuff on there. I know that he was at one point, because I was watching the highlights and stuff. It looks like Lexus King, he's getting even better shape. A lot of people commented when he came into NXT / WWE that he was in better physical shape than he had been over in AEW. And I would say that he even looked in better shape tonight. So whatever, if Triple H is making him chicken breasts and putting them into, sandwich bags for Lexus King or whatnot, I guess it's working. So good for Lexus, I thought his match tonight was good. It was solid. He did win the match. He did not. I was kind of hoping that he would do some heel mic work because on some of the prior NXT house shows going back to like September and October when I went to a bunch, I went to 5 or 6 different venues in a couple of months late last year, September, October. And I was kind of hoping for that again of Pillman Jr. or Lexus King doing some heel mic work because he's actually quite good at it. And they did not give him that opportunity tonight. And so it just wasn't part of the shenanigans. But he won the match and he got over. This Eddie Thorpe guy, the guy that he defeated, is actually quite good as well. Here's the thing, folks. At this point in the show, we had 4 matches. The first 4 matches, because I made a note of it, I looked at my phone to see the time. It was 8 p.m. So if the show started at 7:30, and I'm going to say what the kids say, but I mean it this time, literally at 8 o'clock p.m., because I did look at my fucking phone, we were done with 4 matches. So that basically means they had 4 matches in 30 minutes, which comes out to 7.5 minutes a match, including introductions. So my point of the matter is, folks, there was a bunch of matches on this show, but it was kind of like every match was really quick, abrupt, you might say. There was no, at least at this point in their show, there was no big marathon match. So Lexus King defeating Eddie Thorpe. And then we went to our final match. They do intermissions at this show. One thing that's interesting, maybe it's interesting just to me, but at these NXT house shows, they don't always provide concessions for food. And I think what's happening, and I'm just speculating, folks, I think that these are lost leaders. These NXT house shows, I don't think they're actually making money on these shows. I mean, maybe they are. I mean, I really don't know. You know, I don't think they're making much money. Let's put it that way. I mean, they're all in the state of Florida. They're pretty much always on the weekends. And, Friday or Saturday night. A lot of times they'll have a Friday night show and then another town on a Saturday night. They're pretty much in 400-seat venues. And I guess they're probably, meaning WWE, is not paying a whole lot for these venues. It really is just giving the younger wrestlers a chance to get their reps in, a facsimile for when they go to the main roster, if they get that far. And some of these NXT wrestlers don't get that far. I've noticed that a bunch of people, there was a really interesting wrestler last summer, kind of a big chubby guy, and he kind of did like the non-gender gimmick, or maybe that's not a gimmick, but it was like his real life thing that he brought into wrestling, in which they call stuff, everything is called a gimmick in wrestling. But he kind of had that thing going, and he had a really lovely Alicia Ash, I believe was her name. She was the manager, and I think they're both gone, unless Miss Ash is still with them, Olivia Ash, and I get to speak to her for a few seconds. She was tremendously nice, but I don't know what happened to them, for instance. So just because someone's in NXT does not mean they're necessarily going to stick with wrestling or stick with WWE/NXT or even progress to the main roster. So NXT is really interesting, especially because now they're going to be on, is it the CW network or something? They got a deal, a television deal. So they're going to have like another television outlet soon. Anyway, I'm just going on and on here, but basically, NXT is always kind of in this weird spot of is it its own promotion, like is it its own brand within WWE, or is it the training camp? And it doesn't seem like we really have a definitive answer. It seems like that answer goes back and forth. 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, when Adam Cole was like the big hot shot in NXT, and it seemed like at that point, before the pandemic, they were really trying to make a push that NXT was like the third brand, and it was kind of, their takeover shows were the big deal, and they would have like a 5-match pay-per-view, but every match would be half an hour. Well, these house shows in 2024 are not like those NXT, premium live events on the network from 5 or 6 years ago. It's a totally different thing. You're not going to see a 30-minute tag team match, okay? You're not going to see Adam Cole, baby. It's just a different deal now. And I don't know what the house shows were like back then. I know that Bray Wyatt used to bring around his rocking chair, which is kind of cool. I mean, that would have been fun. I didn't live in Florida at that time. In any event, folks, let's move on. The NXT Women's Champion, Lyra Valkyria, and Tatum Paxley. I am a fan of her. I do like her kind of goth look. I do have some videos on here. They had this Halloween ladies trick or treat Royal Rumble last October, and Tatum Paxley was dressed as Wednesday from the Addams Family, and I enjoyed that. But here's who I really enjoy. They defeated Roxanne Perez and Lola Vice. I'm a huge, as much as I can be, Roxanne Perez fan. I think she's great. I was pleasantly surprised at how well she's done turning heel. To me, she's the ultimate babyface. Roxanne Perez she looks to me like a babyface through and through. But one good thing about NXT is that they like to put their wrestlers, especially the ones with potential, they like to try them out as heel and babyface. I think just to get those reps in, just so that if they're ever called upon, like I would think that Roxanne Perez would be a career babyface, but like Bayley, you would think she would be a career babyface. But, Bayley's done successful work as a heel. And so now we know that Roxanne Perez, if she's ever brought up to the main roster, which I would assume she will be, and I would assume that she'd be brought up as a babyface by that point, but then I could see her 3 or 4 years from now turning heel on the main roster because she's proving here in NXT that she can do it. This woman, to me, is just a real natural talent. I'm sure that she works hard as well. But as a babyface, she always seems very happy to be there. Meaning that she's happy to be at the NXT show. She's always got a big smile. She seems like she really enjoys wrestling. And but as a heel, I mean, she pulls it off, and I think she's great. So I mean, the thing with tonight's match is she basically abandoned her partner. Lola Vice is interesting. I typically kind of think that Lola Vice, I don't know too much about her, but she looks. Also, the thing about Lola Vice, I think that name is better for a tag team. Like, I think Lola Vice would be a really cool tag team name. I don't know if it's a good singles name, because I think when I think of Vice, I think of, police, and I think of like a Vice squad, and I think of like it has to be more than one person. So Lola Vice, I don't know. I like that name, but I don't like it for a single competitor. I like it for a tag team, but who the fuck am I to say, right? But Roxanne Perez abandoned her partner, gave her the short arm. That got a big response from the fans. And then these two ladies lost because Lola Vice got pinned by the Good Girls, and there you go. And then that kind of wasn't so many women on this show. So then we had our friendly intermission. We come back. I believe I could be getting this mixed up, but I think that match was right before intermission, or no, that was the first match back after intermission. Lexis King was the first match before intermission because that's when I moved. I got a second row seat at the second half, so I saw the women's tag. Then they did Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Interesting because his name is very similar to Nelson Frazier, who was Mabel / Viscera. But anyway, these guys defeated Out the Mud, Bronco Nima, and Lucian Prince, and they did have the new lady, Jada Parker, at ringside. And so I got some nice photos of her working the crowd. She's really quite good. So this match, it seemed like people were really into it. I was actually fiddle fucking with my phone and some of the pictures that you're seeing tonight. So I did not really see a whole lot of this match. It was right in front of me, but I wasn't paying attention. But the fans seemed to be into it. Axiom is this mask guy. I don't quite get him. I'm not sure what he's supposed to be. To me, he's not a Rey Mysterio quality. He's just kind of a guy with a mask, to be honest with you. I know he does some high flying stuff, but he doesn't really stick out beyond the fact that he wears a mask and so on and so forth. And anyway, the star of that match once again was Jada Parker. I don't know. I guess I wasn't into this match. The next one was interesting, though. This Uriah Connors guy, he looked very new. I had not seen him before. Maybe you fine folks have as well. He kind of came out. I think they said he was 185 pounds, which is pretty small for a wrestler. Oh, so okay. He's also known as Brogan Finley. So I saw this guy then. So this is Fit Finley's son? Gee whiz. So this is Fit Finley's son. So I saw the Finley Regal match, which people have been talking about. They've been wanting to see this, like a match between Finley's kid and what's his dick, Charlie Taylor or whatever the fuck his name is, the Steven Regal's son. So it's the match of the two sons. So basically, Charlie Dempsey defends the NXT Heritage Cup successfully against Uriah Connors. But here's the thing. I mean, if you're going to have second generation guys, I know it's a C thing with the WWE copyright trademark. They just want to have these guys so that they want to have everyone under lock and key, and they don't take advantage of the fact that, wouldn't Lord William Regal or Lord Steven Regal, wouldn't the fact that you've got his son, which is Dempsey, I believe, right, against Finley's son, like, isn't that kind of cool? But, I saw it. I should have known, but I didn't. It just, this is the type of shit that an asshole like me would enjoy. But I did watch the match. It just seemed that this Uriah Connors guy, Fit Finley's son or not, he did not seem to win the crowd over. I guess he was supposed to be the baby face. No one really knew who the fuck he was. And I mean, if they had said Uriah Finley, I would have known who the fuck he was, or Brogan Finley. But in any event, Charlie Dempsey wins the match. It was cool to see the big cup, and like he's got the fucking cup and he's got to hand it over to the ring announcer lady. She did a pretty good job. I mean, at one point I was kind of discriminatory against female ring announcers, to be honest with you, because I just think of the Gary Michael Capettas, the Tom Millers, the Fink, obviously, and some of these classic, baritone male ring announcers. But some of these women are the woman who does Raw now is very good, and SmackDown, she's very good, and some of them are quite good. You know what I mean? I thought even Brandy Rhodes was decent as a ring announcer. But some of these women know what they're doing with the ring announcing. So the one tonight, young blonde ring announcer, female, she was pretty good. She was good. What's next? Thea Hale defeats Jasmine Nix via DQ. Kind of drawing a blank on that one, fine folks. I want to look these people up. I don't want to forget anyone or what I thought of them. See, luckily I have this 2-computer system. I can look at, oh yeah, Thea Hale. Oh yeah. Okay. So the Chase University, she's very spunky. I mean, she's very short. You know what I mean? So I'm going to look her up for her height. But I've seen her a bunch of times. This Chase University, it would be interesting if they ever had all of them on the main roster. I don't even think she's been on the main roster. Apparently, she made 2 appearances on AEW Dark. She lost to Thunder Rosa and Julia Hart. She is quite tiny, but she was very popular tonight. Wow, she's only 19 years of age, apparently, or maybe 21 at this point. But yeah, good for her. Yeah, she's fine. And who did she defeat again? Who was her opponent? God in heaven. Jasmine. Oh. Okay, hold on. So this is what happened with this. They did like the whole, basically the Jasmine Nix, I believe she got disqualified because her friend. So she came out, Jasmine Nix came out with JC Jane, and JC Jane interfered, and so Jasmine got disqualified, and then it became a big cluster of every woman, and the Jazzy Jane was really like the all-star about it, because once she got her friend disqualified, she was so happy to get into the ring and attack and heal it up. So, I mean, JC Jane, to me, should really be promoted. Okay, so Jay Gentile, Baldwinsdale, New York, is Jasmine Nix. They say she's a member of Chase University. I don't think that's true, unless she's probably out of it by now. She was born July 28th, 1998. She's 5'4". Yeah, she was okay. I mean, she seemed a little bit outshined, I think, because she was with Jazzy Jane, and it seemed like Jazzy Jane's just more of a veteran. I really think they need to bring her up to the main roster there. But this women's match was fine. But then they basically segued it into this kind of a fun thing, 4-on-4 women's match, and I thought everybody did quite well. It was a whole lot of women wrestlers, whole lot of NXT wrestlers in one match, which is very exciting. And I lost my results page, so now I have to go back to it. I'm breaking the fourth wall. Let me show you the photos again, folks. Take you one more round of these photos. Okay. So here we go. The big woman's 8-woman match was JC Jane, Jasmine Nix, Kiana James. She's very good. She's the one with the purse. She used to be like I think she was like a country and western tag team for a while, but now she's on her own. She's a heel. She's got this loaded purse. And Izzy Dame, they were victorious. The Bad Girls won against Fallon Henley, Ren Sinclair, Thea Hale, and Carmen Petrakoff. Carmen sticks out because she kind of has like this Kill Bill kind of gimmick going. And she also was the winner of that women's NXT Halloween Battle Royal. She was dressed up as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. So I have some of those clips on this channel, by the way, if you care. Look them up. I have a bunch of AEW clips, a bunch of NXT clips. So that was kind of a fun women's match. And the Bad Girls won, and they kind of healed it all up, and they were antagonizing the crowd, and people were getting excited. And then finally, it's interesting. We had Trick Williams and Carly Bright defeated Aura Mensa and Lash Legend. And look, like I said, I'm not the biggest follower of NXT on the TV show, but I do know that they're having this kind of romance of Lash Legend and Trick Williams. They're kind of flirtation, and they're in this mixed tag match against each other tonight. And they did like this spot where the wrestlers were kind of dozy-doing, and it looked like Trick, it was going to kiss Lash, but then they kind of did a switcheroo, and then Trick was going to kiss the male opponent, and Lash was going to kiss the female opponent, and then they all stopped kissing each other, and it was funny stuff. But the match was good. It was, it was a good way to end the show with a mixed tag. It was a little unusual. A lot of matches on this show tonight, a lot of tag team matches. Let's count the wrestlers. That's always fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 22 plus 6 is 28, and 29, 30, 32. And the reason why I had to do the little trickery is because the two women wrestled twice. Thea Hale and Jasmine Nix were in a singles match, and then they transferred into the 4-on-4 tag team match. So what did I say is a total? 32? And that's a lot, for the $10 that I paid for this thing, to see 32 wrestlers. Debbie at Wrestling in 60 Seconds took a nice picture of all these Bad Girl wrestlers together. JC Jane kind of playing with the rope there. Some people took better pictures than I did. Chris Sharp, it looks like he's a referee. He took a nice picture of Roxy Perez. Yeah, there are definitely some people who took some good good pictures here, and I didn't. So give them credit, but give me credit because I'm doing this goddamn report. Okay, folks, One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan YouTube channel, One Man in a Camera Films. Go to MikeMessier.com to buy one of my books, or don't. But it'd be nice if you did. Okay, folks, that's it. Good night.